My name is Ashlyn, and welcome back to Medicated and Motivated, the podcast. If you don't know me, if you don't know my face, if you've never heard my voice before, my name is Ashlyn. I am a full-time paramedic. This is my podcast, Medicated and Motivated, where I talk about the real and raw lifestyle of what it's like being an EMS provider, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today, I want to talk about isolation in the career because a lot of people don't realize when you go into EMS the amount of things you're going to miss. I'm talking family events, birthdays, Christmases, any type of holiday, and just the simple things. That random Tuesday night that your friends want to hang out at the bars or go to dinner, or that random Wednesday morning that your grandma wants to go get breakfast with you. I want to talk about it is okay to be angry and frustrated with that because it's something that comes with the career and it's one of the not so pretty things. When I first started EMS, I was 19 years old and it was a rude awakening for me and my family. I'm a first generation first responder. I'm also a first generation healthcare worker, and it's not a huge secret. Somebody's got to work the holidays. The hospitals and ambulances, fire trucks, and police, they don't just shut down on holidays 24/7. 365 days out of the year. Those people are working and sacrificing time with their family and friends to help the sick and injured. And I was 19 years old when I first started EMS, and it was my very first Christmas Eve that I had ever missed. And I remember my grandpa was so upset. Christmas Eve is like the number one holiday that all of my family gets together. We've always chose only Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, we leave to like separate families. We don't get together as one big one. It's Christmas Eve, the one holiday out of the whole year that we make sure our family gets there. And I was terrified to tell my grandpa that I could not be there. And I was afraid he'd be disappointed in me. He wouldn't understand because there is something about my family that still kind of does bug me to this day. Like, I've been in this career for almost 4 years. Everyone at this point knows that I work 24-hour shifts. It still bugs me to this day of the more and more you're absent from family functions, the less you get invited to. Same with friends. I've lost several friends because I just could not show up to things, and it's because I'm working. So I'm a singer. Sorry, I'm in a big Sabrina Carpenter phase right now. Anyway, my grandpa was fine with it. He loves me. It ended up being fine. It was not the last Christmas Eve I ever went to. I'm going to it this year. I just have to work Christmas Day this year, and he's fine with that, and my mom is fine with that too. But what brings up this whole conversation is today. My mom and I went to dinner, and she was asking like what holidays I'm working this year, and then what holidays my boyfriend's working because my boyfriend's a police officer. And last year was like a unicorn. Me and my boyfriend were both off on Christmas Eve. It was a miracle, okay? Well, this year, yeah, that ain't happening, okay? I'm off on Christmas Eve. He's off Christmas Day. It's a cluster. Let's just say that. He's off Thanksgiving. I'm working Thanksgiving. Basically, there's not really going to be a time where all of us can get together except for like 2 weeks after Christmas. And it's really frustrating. It's insanely frustrating. And it's something that some families grasp really, really well. Over the years, my mom is fine with it. Over the years, my boyfriend's family's fine with it because they're also a military family, so they know that he has missed several holidays, and my boyfriend's okay with it because he knows that his family still values his time. It may just not be on that one special day. I think where a lot of people start feeling that isolation and they start feeling that loneliness, and let's be real, you're going to feel a lot of FOMO when you start getting into first response. When I was in medic school and working full time, the FOMO was so unbelievably just heavy on me. I remember, and I tell this to my best friend all the time, when I look at my Snapchat memories, and you know how it gives you like a memory every single day of like this time 4 years ago today, all of my memories in the past 4 years are 99% of the time school or work related. I have those blips every now and then of like weird little trips that I took, like day trips that I took with my boyfriend or my family or my friends. But most of the time, especially in the monthly recaps that Snapchat does, it's work related. Or I'm at the college and I'm doing EMS related something. And it's super comical to me, but then it also sits in that like I have serious FOMO. all of these, the popular trend right now on Instagram is putting like September dumps, October dumps, and it's all the fun things you did in that month. I literally can't do those because it would just be work, school, in the gym. Occasionally, I do see my boyfriend, but usually we're going to the gym as well. So I literally can't do that trend. And FOMO really sets in. FOMO hurts a lot. The feeling of just isolation is not fun. And you're allowed to be upset at it. You're allowed to be upset that you're missing out on things. Yes, you chose your career. One of my least favorite comments that I get being an EMS provider and being in healthcare, and one of those things that if you are telling a healthcare worker or a first responder this comment and you don't work in their field, I truly don't think you have room to say this comment. If you tell somebody, well, you chose the career, that it grinds my gears. It's a soapbox I have, okay? Yes, we chose the career. I chose to sacrifice my time. I chose to help the sick and injured 24/7, 365 days a year, even on the holidays. I did choose this. I enjoy this. I love doing it. And this year I'm working Thanksgiving. I'm actually ecstatic to work Thanksgiving because if you know anything about healthcare Thanksgivings, it is the best potluck ever. We are so excited for Thanksgiving. We've been talking about it for like 2 months. But I do also recognize that that's another holiday without my family. That's a holiday that my boyfriend is actually off this year, and it could be our first Thanksgiving together because we didn't get to spend it together last year. So it is really frustrating and sad that I have to spend it with my work family instead of my blood family. Not saying I don't love my work family. I truly do. But there's something different about being with your family and friends, especially on a day full of gratitude. But when you tell a healthcare worker or a first responder, well, you chose this, you did this to yourself. Okay, I just want to give you a perspective. If you tell a healthcare worker, if you don't like it, just quit and go to a different job, you did this to yourself. If all of us listened to you and we left the job, we left the hospitals, we left the ambulances, we left the fire trucks, police cars, military left and was honorably discharged. Who's going to answer your 911 calls? No one. Who's going to answer when grandpa decides to deep fry that turkey and your house blows up because, kabloom. There's always at least one every single year because grease fires suck. Firefighters ain't going to show up to your house because you know what? You told them. You did this to yourself. Go find another job. Okay. You got to put that into perspective. Same with hospitals. Everyone's complaining that hospitals are so short-staffed, and they are. There's a lot of different things that are going into that as well. But if all nurses, RTs, doctors, techs, CNAs, physical therapists, PTAs, if all of these people listened and just went to find a different job that did not work on the holidays, who's going to take care of Peepaw that had a cabbage last week before Thanksgiving and he's not discharged yet? Who's going to take care of him in the hospital? Who's going to make sure he's okay so he can come home for next Thanksgiving? I just want to put that in everyone's perspective. That was a quick little rant. Let's move on. It's okay to be upset. So I'm going to give you another example. I have a friend group. There's 3 of us. All of us are healthcare workers. I'm a paramedic. My best friend, Belle, she's an ultrasound tech and a radiologist technician. And then Megan is a radiologist technician as well. Our schedules are quite literally opposite of each other. Belle and Megan don't work at the same hospital. They don't even work in the same system. And then obviously I'm on the ambulance. My hours are just annoying anyway. They're never going to be the same as anyone's. We have been trying to plan a trip to go just to the city, go eat lunch, go shopping. Belle's about to get married, so we want to just have a girls' day before she gets married. We've been trying to plan probably since August, which was her bachelorette trip. We just now found a singular day where all of us are off. Just now. It's like mid-October almost. It sucks. It sucks a lot. And we have prioritized a little bit like, hey, even if it's late at night, we're all going to go to dinner because no one deserves FOMO. It's a very just frustrating, isolating, and it makes you start hating your job. So when I was in EMS my first year, I was going through a lot of personal changes as well when it came to relationship, friendship, and then we had a lot of family changes as well. Like I talked about earlier, people are going to stop inviting you to things. That's what happened with a friend group of mine. I just didn't get invited anywhere. And then I would see it on Snapchat stories and Instagram stories, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know you guys were hanging out. And these were like my closest friends since high school. And it really sucked. It was terrible. It was awful. And whenever I confronted them about it, they're like, well, we just figured you were at work. So that made me start hating my job. It made me regret my decisions going into EMS. And it got me thinking, like, in the future, one of the biggest things that caused turmoil between me and my ex was I always told him I never want to be a stay-at-home mom. I love working. I'm a busybody. Would I love to stay home for maybe the first year? Absolutely. But I can never see myself as a stay-at-home mom. EMS is my job. EMS is my passion. My family is going to come first. But I don't want to just give it up. And that's okay. Some women are like that, and that's perfectly fine. He did not like that. He did not like that at all. He thought I should quit my job because it's taking so much time away already in our relationship. And when it comes to family, I'm never going to be there. I'm never going to be at ball games. I'm never going to be at concerts and dances and homecomings and graduations and all these fun little kid things. And then I started feeling immense guilt over a family that I hadn't even started yet. To the point where I was looking at other jobs, like after EMS. It got me seriously thinking about nursing, just because nursing, at least I'd be home every night. At least I could do different types of jobs, like a clinic job to where I'm not working the insane amount of hours. And that's not okay. If you truly love your job, yeah, you're going to have sacrifices, but there should not be a point where you feel so awful about something that you want to quit, something that you're passionate about. So first off, if you have any of those people in your life, get rid of them. I did, and it's been the healthiest decision I have ever made in my entire life. Number two, you know the little scales where like people are putting pros and cons and then like everything weighs out on each other? If you want to do that, go for it. But I truly think that when you find a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life again. EMS for me is that job. Will I miss out on kid things? Absolutely. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. I remember when I asked Gwenny, Nurse Gwenny, when her and I first met, if you guys don't know this, Gwenny's flight job is like 3 hours away from her home. Her hospital job is close to her area. And then for Impact, she's the director of education for Impact EMS. It's an education program. She travels literally constantly. I've been trying to meet up with Gwenny for a while, and we're finally meeting up. But she has just been go, go, go every single time I text her. Oh, hey, I'm on a flight to go to Indiana. Oh, hey, I'm on a flight to go to Texas. And I'm like, girl, didn't you just get back? Have you been home? But one of the things I asked her about that was like, how do you manage life? Like you have kids. How do you see them? How do you not have that guilt of I'm not spending enough time with them? Same with her significant other. And she's like, I'll be honest, it's hard. It's very hard. But once they get to that age where they understand mom is working because she is supporting the family, she is doing this for the better of you, she still loves you the same and is unbelievably proud of you, then your kids do understand. Those first few years are hard, especially when they're young. They're making all these memories, and sometimes young kids don't understand. But she told me, all in all, it is worth it because now she has unbelievable appreciation for the time she does have with her family. Isolation in EMS, first response, healthcare, it's a real thing. It sucks. When I think of this year and I think, okay, I'm not free on Christmas, but my boyfriend is. And my mom was like, well, maybe we can still have him over, like if he really wants to, after he goes to his family. And I'm like, it's our second Christmas together and I'm not going to be with him. And that really sucks. It really hurts. This year, I talked about this on my TikTok. Austin was gone on military and then I was working. We did not get to spend our anniversary together. That was something really, really, really frustrating, but that was a reality of first response, military, and healthcare. This job is about sacrifice, mental health, physical health, psychological, and just time. Valuable time, because everyone knows life is short. You have no idea how much time you have left. And a lot of people may view EMS as, well, I don't want to spend my life working away and not getting to see my family. And that's perfectly fine. I view it as, I get to do this job. I get to spend my life doing this job. And then the times where I'm not doing my job, I'm going to spend my time valuing the people I love. That's one of the reasons over on my TikTok, I talk about this a lot as well here recently. When I'm off duty, I'm off duty. I try not to do anything work related unless it's something like this where I'm creating content. But even when I'm doing this, I'm still doing something I'm passionate about. I'm reaching out to others and I'm trying to be a mentor to others and tell people that were just like me. Yeah, EMS sucks. EMS really sucks. Healthcare sucks. First response sucks. But this is the sacrifice that truly does make stuff worth it. One of the ways to mitigate FOMO is, number one, and this was a big one for me, look at the people in your life. Your family should value your time and value your passion for your job. Yeah, my family hates that I'm not there on Christmas. They hate that I'm not there on Thanksgiving and Easter. 4th of July is another big holiday in my family. They hate that I'm not there. But they also look at me and they see the love I have for the job. And instead of complaining and telling me how much they would love to have me there, they tell me how proud they am of me. How proud they are of me. There we go. English is not my best suit. I am sorry. Simply a paramedic. I know how to read squiggly lines. I don't know how to read words on a paper. My bad. But same with my friends. My friend, like I said, Bella and Megan, they're both in healthcare. And we completely understand that our schedules are going to be chaotic, but we find other ways to communicate with each other and talk to each other and keep up with each other. Whether that's literally the other night, we were sitting in a parking lot just in someone's car talking. We had all just gotten off work. We went to go get food and then we sat in the car and we just talked. We didn't do anything special. It was probably an hour, but it was an hour more together than we had had in weeks. We have group chats. We have Snapchat. Nurse Gwenny has actually introduced me to Marco Polo, which you don't know what Marco Polo is. You really should download it. It's actually super fun. If you're one of those people like me that sends thousands of videos over Snapchat to people, literally sending them a YouTube video basically over Snapchat takes them like 10 minutes to open my videos. Download Marco Polo because it's the exact same thing, but you can pause the video. You can replay the video whenever you want. And if you don't want to watch the video, Marco Polo transcribes it for you. But it's just another way that like you can see someone's face, you can see what they're doing, you can see the expressions on their face. That's why I love Snapchat. It's why I will never delete Snapchat, especially for my boyfriend and my friends, because I like seeing their faces and I like looking like I'm talking to someone. Same with Marco Polo. FaceTime, always FaceTime. My boyfriend and I swear to God, we FaceTime like 16 times a day. And it will be for the stupidest crap. But it keeps us talking and communicating with each other, especially because we are long distance and we don't see each other very often. The people in your life should value your purpose and passion for your job, even when you are not able to see them a lot. If you have people in your life that are making your FOMO worse because they're not supporting you or your job, those may not be the healthiest people in your life. Those may be some leaves that really need to fall off your branch. And it sucks. I just went through one of these friendship breakups and it hurt at first. But when I realized that they were not valuing the fact that, yeah, I'm at work, I don't always have time for things. But me as a person, I still want to be your friend. I still want to support you. And I still want to be involved in your life. When I realized they were not valuing that, they were a leaf that fell off my branch. And that was a very healthy decision. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be a healthy decision for you to only keep people in your life that support your job and value your time that you have, even when it's not all the time. And lastly, on that note, value your days off. If you're a full-time student, girlfriend, I get you. I got you. It sucks. Just remember, school is temporary. When you do have those valuable days off, let people know in advance. Plan something. Go get coffee. Go get ice cream. Go walk the trails with someone just so you guys can be outside and talk to each other. Catch up on life. Go get your nails done with your friend. Text your mom. Be like, hey, mom, let's go to the mall together. Let's go get our nails done. Hey, you know that restaurant down the street that just opened? Let's go try it together at this time on this day. And if they're not available, that's okay, because hopefully you will value their time as well. But find those days off and try to make the most out of them purposefully. Isolation is something that I still feel to this day. When I look at my camera roll and I'm like, oh, what did I do in September? I went to work. And I went to the gym, and I went to the college. But I did go with my friends to dinner, and that was amazing. Or Austin and I did this, and it was so fantastic. Those little times, those little moments, I treasure so much. So even if you don't have a bunch, you have those. That is all I have. If you're working holidays this year, what holidays are you working? I'm C shift, the best shift. We are working Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. I'm not mad because, like I said, Thanksgiving, if you've never worked Thanksgiving in healthcare, it's this big little potluck that is so much fun. All we have to do is all of us agree on a main course, and then we have obviously 8 people on full time. So all of us just bring different sides. That is 8 different sides that I get to choose from. 8 different desserts. Thanksgiving's one of my favorite holidays. But if you're working holidays this year, what holidays have you worked? How do you and your work family kind of mitigate the, hey, all of us miss our families, but all of us are together today. How can we make the most out of it? And how do your families respond? Do your families come see you at the station? Does your agency allow you to have family come to the station? Most of them do. My boyfriend's came up on several occasions, and he's hung out with us at the station on holidays. Same with my mom. She's came up before. And what are some ways that you have mitigated FOMO? What are some ways that you have battled isolation and anger against your job because you're missing out on life and it sucks? So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you don't know, I am on TikTok and Instagram. All those are going to be in the description below. If you are listening to this podcast on Spotify, please hit the follow and the rate. You can literally give like 5-star reviews. Basically what those reviews do is they push out the podcast onto more platforms, and in the recommended section on people's podcast pages or Spotify pages, the podcast will be pushed out through to them. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and like the video, because the exact same way, if you like the video more, it pushes out to other people and it just gives a little bit more traction. It brings more people into the little family of Medicated and Motivated. On both platforms, please hit the bell so you are notified every single time I post. If you are listening on Spotify, I have tried to push this out as best as I can. A lot of people are not seeing my episodes or seeing all of them. Delete the app, re-download it, re-log in, or try listening on a different device, and the episodes should pop up. But that is always why I post my podcast over on YouTube. So there are 2 different ways that you can listen and watch. On TikTok, I try to post daily, just funny stuff, whether it's day in the lives, vlogs, little snippets here and there of just interesting things I find. And on Instagram, I'm actually the most active. I love posting on stories. I love talking to you guys. I have a lot of my favorite creators over on Instagram that I repost and talk to. And it's just this nice little community. The one thing I have learned in the past probably 6 months is the EMS education and just EMS community in general of creators is such an amazing and supportive community that truly inspires me every single day to keep up with my content and to keep going with the dreams that I have. With all that being said, that is all, and have a good shift. I will see you in the next episode.